Hi, this is Steve. Hey, I hope by now you've had a chance to look at the material I put together in preparation for our meetings this month. I'm really looking forward to having the chance to discuss artificial intelligence for your businesses. When I started looking into artificial intelligence, I became quite excited about what I was learning and how some of these tools can really be advantageous. And in order to sort of convey that over to you, I had in mind putting together just enough information in our material that might pique your interest and encourage you to do your own exploration on how these tools could be beneficial to you. If you get into the material, you see how I wrote it. I simply defined what artificial intelligence was before I created a timeline that looked at the development of artificial intelligence over the last 50 to 70 years. The intent of that was to demystify it a little bit, kind of give you a sense that it's been around and there's really nothing to be concerned about in terms of how the tools work and how you might utilize them in your business. From there, then, I wanted to sort of just introduce you to a variety of tools in a matrix of sorts where I looked at the business through the balanced scorecard approach, right? You just look at the company in terms of what it does financially, how it serves its customers in sales and marketing, its general operations, how it produces what it does, and then lastly in HR or its team and how it develops its personnel. And I just created rows looking at a variety of tools that might have an application in those areas, hoping you would click on links and begin to explore them for yourself. I finish up the material by simply looking at 4 or 5 things that we can be doing now in our businesses to prepare for the introduction of artificial intelligence. That's where I found myself. I have always been a bit frustrated that I've written so much material and yet it's seemingly inaccessible. You don't know what's in it, and so it becomes less valuable to kind of go back and use it as a research tool, even if it was just to sort of, again, prime your interest in other resources that could be beneficial to you. So I took the leap and began exploring AI for myself, and I found a really neat tool that I want to share with you. So I bought Writesonic, and it's a software tool that's used for creating content and things of this nature. Let me show it to you, and I'll show you what I did as well. So let me make myself small. That was cool. And so when you get into Writesonic, you're faced with a dashboard that has a whole host of tools available for you, from writing long articles to creating Facebook ads. Here are certain things that are particular for those who are selling Amazon products, LinkedIn posts, and so on. I'll show you something really kind of cool in that in a moment, but what I was interested in was creating a chatbot for OneTrust. So to do that, you would simply click on this tool. I could create a new one, but these are actually ones that I've created in the past, and this is one I created for this presentation. So if you click on it, before I actually show you how it works, I just want to let you know that you can customize these things using your own branding. When you do get into it, you can also tell it how long of a response you would like to have when prompted. Let's see here once. Let me move myself a little bit. There's also some additional things with regard to the voice itself and whether it's polite and friendly or not using slang, or you could have it being professional. Whatever you would want to have there, you can actually create the voice for the bot. Once you do have it created, you can integrate it into your intranet or your website. Just copy and paste the hypertext where it might go. There's also other ways in which you can integrate it through third-party or APIs. But that's just the background for it so that you don't get kind of wrapped up in thinking it's purple and I don't want purple. You can customize this tool. But putting that aside and just sort of getting into how you start this, you want to put information into the chatbot. I have a lot of things that I've written, and one of the first things I wrote was continuous improvement, the lean way, and one of the last things I wrote had to do with delegation. But what I have in a long-term plan is to kind of take everything that I've written and bring it into this bot. Let me just kind of show you what I have in mind here. Just should have had this up, but so real quick peek. This is all the PDFs that I've written. Okay, and there's about 30 to 35 of them there. So what I would want to do if I was to create the files that are stored in the chatbot is simply drag and drop what I have over into it. So drag and drop. Here's the file. I want to upload and train the system to incorporate it into the accessible information. It takes a little while, so I'm just going to speed ahead, assuming that that gets done. And since I already have two over here, just to show you how this chatbot might work, let's just ask it a question. And since we know we have Lean in there already, can we just say, hey, can you tell me a little about Lean? Certainly. Lean is a business methodology. Now remember, I had it set to give me a long answer, and here it is, and I can read about that. But what's really cool is it also tells me where it pulled that information from. So by clicking on that, it actually brings the PDF file up for me to read and access. So where does this come in handy? I mean, I'm sure you're already thinking about it, right? If you wanted to do this for yourself and your business, your SOPs, your documentation you want employees to be able to access from human resources, handbook, I mean, all of this could be in your own chatbot that employees could simply ask it a question. It would take them right to that information with the ability to download the balance of the document for their usage. That's just really cool. I imagine anybody being able to access this if it was on the member website, having a question about KPIs, about Lean, about faith at work, any of those things, and it would enable them to access the materials that we've been using over the last 3 to 4 years. So that's pretty cool, right? Here's one other thing, though, that I thought you might be interested in, and I won't take long to get you through that. Obviously, we're back here into the dashboard, but this ChatSonic was also pretty cool. So it creates content for you. Again, let me get me out of the way here. So I'm just going to use the prompt like it already has in terms of a default. Right? I'm going to ask it to write a Facebook ad for Robert W. Morris, CPA, and off it goes, doing its work. Are you tired of tax season stressing you out? Let Robert W. Morris, CPA, take the burden off your shoulders. How wonderful is that with over 20 years experience? I mean, I'm sure there's some tweaking that you would have to do, but there's some products out here, I think Jasper is one of them, where not only would it do this for you, but it would also go and create an image that might be appropriate. And it gives you selection. Like even here, let's say I'm not happy with that. Well, give me another option, I would say. Regenerate a response. And it creates another response. So I can continue to do this, finding the one that I think is closest to what I want to use, tweak it a little bit, copy, paste, and the next thing you know, I've got a Facebook ad. There's a lot of different applications for generative AI, artificial intelligence, which creates. And again, I just wanted to kind of introduce you to it in the hopes that you might get excited enough to start looking at it for yourself and find ways that you can really streamline your processes, reduce your workloads, and do what you do better. So we'll talk about that more. Take a moment before we have the meetings to play so that we can learn from each other what we discovered in our research of AI. All right. Thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.